Born with a silver spoon is an idiom that perfectly fits Vijay Mallya. Born on December 18, 1955 in Mangaluru, Karnataka. From the moment he took his first breath, it was evident that Mallya was destined for a life beyond the ordinary. As the sole heir to his father, the illustrious billionaire brewer Vijay Mallya, Vijay's upbringing was nothing short of spectacular.
I drive a Mercedes, I have a BMW, I fool around with a Porsche and a Maserati occasionally.
While other children played with toy cars, he saw the skies in remote plains, a testament to his unparalleled privilege. Even in his college days, Mallya stood out, his flamboyance simply unmatched. With a proclivity for making a statement, he famously removed the silencer from his car, ensuring his arrival was heard and noticed by all. Beyond the glitz and glamour, Mallya's persona exuded an air of invincibility, a man unbound by societal norms and conventional constraints. He became everything his father wanted him to be. From studying in prestigious universities to working and then becoming the chairman of United Breweries Group, from buying an IPL franchise to forming an F1 team. The founder of the Kingfisher Airline and the host of the biggest Bollywood parties, King of Good Times. That's what everyone called him.
The Prince of India, the Maharaja, the richest man in India.
You don't realize is once you are sitting on top of that tiger, you can't get off, because if you do, it eats you up.
Wonderful celebration of Vijay's 50th rocking birthday bash.
And that you have one of the most frankly flamboyant styles of any industrialist in this country.
Really?
He is truly the king of good times. I can't think of anybody else.
Fast forward to March 2016. A consortium of banks approached the Supreme Court of India to stop Mallya from going abroad due to the pending money his companies owed them.
CBI has questioned UB Group chairman Vijay Mallya.
Vijay Mallya, who owes 9,000 crores, is gone.
And it was a last-minute booking that Vijay Mallya did, along with 11 bags. He rushed immediately to the airport.
His passport and said, "You cannot leave the country." So he left the country.
The court is wrapping Vijay Mallya and sentencing him to 4 months prison as well.
Court has today sentenced fugitive businessman Vijay Mallya.
The only difference between a petty criminal and Vijay Mallya is that he wears a suits and throws lavish parties.
On March 13, 2016, a court in Hyderabad issued a non-bailable warrant for Mallya's arrest. A month later, a special court in Mumbai also issued an undated non-bailable arrest warrant against him. A year later, Mallya was arrested by the UK Metropolitan Police on behalf of the Indian authorities in relation to accusations of fraud. He was released on bail, however, pending further consideration of the case. But how did it all change so fast? And what made the party boy run away from his country and hide in several places? Welcome to Sleuthing Scams, and today we'll be talking about the life journey of the king of good times, Vijay Mallya. But before we get down to business, why don't you just hit that subscribe button? It will help us a lot. To study his life in detail, we will need to go back to 1915. Before independence, India had uncountable beer shops throughout the country. But then, a British man named Thomas Leishman got them all to unite and named it United Breweries Group. At the same time, a kid studying at the Doon School in Uttarakhand was observing all of this. Whenever he got his hands on some money, the first thing he did was to buy shares in United Breweries, because he knew that it would explode one day. Days went by and he kept doing it, till one day when he became the majority shareholder of the company. And in that very decade, the British decided to go back. And that's when they handed United Breweries Group to that boy Vijay Mallya, the father of Vijay Mallya. Now fast forward to 1983. United Breweries have acquired majority of its competitors and are leading the game under Vijay. But then things take a turn. October 13th, 1983, Vijay Mallya passes away, a sudden death at the age of 59. And that is when his only son Vijay comes to the scene. Despite resistance from other board members, Vijay sat on the throne because of his family being the majority owner of the company, and against all the odds, Vijay took it to another level. It progressed by every passing second, and Vijay Mallya became a synonym of success and fame. The group became a multinational conglomerate of over 60 companies, with an annual turnover which increased by 64% over 15 years. It diversified and acquired Berger Paints, Best & Crompton in 1988, Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizers in 1990, the Asian Age newspaper and the publisher of film magazine Cine in 2001. United Spirits Limited, the flagship company of the UB Group, achieved the milestone of selling 100 million cases, becoming the second largest spirits company in the world by volume under Mallya's chairmanship. They say, reach for the sky, but keep your feet on the ground. And then on a fine morning of November 15th, 2004, Vijay called the CEO of UB Group, Ravi Nedungandhi, to his office. And the decision those two men took that day turned out to be the death of their entire legacy, Kingfisher Airline. Vijay Mallya informed Nedungandhi that he will launch an airline called Kingfisher Airline in a year's time. But an idea is simply not enough. The next day, every bank in the country declined Mallya's request for a loan. So, Mallya decided he will go ahead without it. And the day after, he calls in a meeting where he makes an official announcement of Kingfisher Airline and his plans to launch it on his son Siddharth Mallya's 18th birthday, which was next year. Once more, the board shuddered at the idea of investing in an airline, yet they found themselves powerless, for all authority lay firmly in Mallya's grip. Mallya invested millions of dollars from his own pocket to start working on the idea. A year goes by, and as planned, Mallya launches the airline.
It's the launch of my dream project, Kingfisher Airlines. Another reason to celebrate.
And it was an instant hit. Mallya knew that the brand Kingfisher was not just a brand in India, it was a lifestyle. The luxury offered in Kingfisher's planes was never seen before in the country. Entertainment equipment, quality food, and stylish stewardesses selected by Mallya himself.
Kingfisher doesn't hire flight attendants. We choose only models.
It was everywhere on the news and magazines. And thus, Mallya's tale takes a darker twist. Despite failing to recoup his initial investment, he resolves to expand. Once more, he implores the banks for funds, only to be rebuffed. Undeterred, he presses on, using his own resources to fuel his ambitions, refusing to yield to setbacks. Amidst the whirlwind of decisions, Mallya overlooked a fundamental truth. An airline's primary goal is to reach the next airport, not to indulge in luxury. The operational costs of Kingfisher Airlines soared far above those of its competitors, a critical oversight that would later haunt the company. Disregarding these warnings, Mallya remained undeterred in his ambitions and set his sights on taking the airline global. However, his plans were thwarted by regulations, stipulating that an airline must operate domestically for at least 5 years before venturing into international skies. So, Mallya bought Air Deccan, one of the only 2 Indian airlines that were running for more than 5 years. In 2008, the fortress Mallya had built began to crumble, its foundation shaken by financial woes. Despite the business's rising fame, profits remained elusive, strangled by exorbitant operational costs. Undeterred, Mallya once more sought the aid of banks, determined to forge ahead. This time, against all odds, he emerged victorious, securing the lifeline his empire so desperately needed. He somehow managed to convince the banks to form a consortium so they could manage the needs of Mallya. SBI was the head of the 17-bank consortium that handed over a hefty amount to Mallya. And some days later, Mallya again convinced the IDBI Bank to lend him upwards of $100 million. And in 2008, from Bangalore to London, Kingfisher sent its first international flight. And in the same year, Mallya buys an IPL team, Royal Challengers Bangalore, for $111.6 million. It seemed everything was in control, as Mallya was seen as usually flamboyant, confident, and full of life. As the shadow of recession loomed large, threatening the aviation industry, Mallya defied the odds. While airlines struggled to stay afloat, he boldly expanded his fleet, acquiring more airplanes to bolster his airline's operations. Media portrayed him as a genius, as it seemed as if he was making money even in recession. His ambitions knew no bounds. He plunged into deeper waters, securing a massive loan of 1,600 crores from the SBI. Undeterred by mounting debts, he continued to expand his fleet, purchasing more airplanes. Despite the influx of funds, he neglected his vendors, crippled by the airline's soaring operational costs. The situation worsened as several oil companies blacklisted Kingfisher Airlines. Adding to his woes, airports demanded advance payments, fed up with the airline's chronic delays in settling landing fees. The downfall began. Each pillar supporting his empire crumbled. Loan defaults marked the beginning of the end. Passengers voiced grievances about the airline's declining standards. Vendors found their checks bouncing. In a united front, they launched a legal onslaught against him. The final blow came on October 13, 2013, when it was exposed that Kingfisher had left its employees without pay for 15 months, lost its operating license, and accrued a staggering debt exceeding $1 billion in bank loans. By November 2015, the amount owed to the banks had grown to at least $1.35 billion. In March 2016, a consortium of banks approached the Supreme Court of India to stop Mallya from going abroad due to the pending money his companies owed them. As per media reports, he had already left India. He was in England, a safe haven for all defaulters. On March 13, 2016, a court in Hyderabad issued a non-bailable warrant for Mallya's arrest. A month later, a special court in Mumbai also issued an undated non-bailable arrest warrant against the businessman. And one by one, the state took control of all his assets that were left in the country, even his Kingfisher Palace in Goa, where he used to throw his lavish parties. As the dust settled, Mallya retreated to a low-key existence in England, far from the glitz of his former life. Yet, despite his absence, the government of India's resolve to bring him to justice remains steadfast, echoing their commitment to uphold the law. Mallya's saga stands as a stark cautionary tale, a testament to the perils of unbridled ambition and the criticality of ethical leadership. His story serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance required between ambition and responsibility, integrity and success. And with that, it's time for us to call it a day. But we do hope that you liked the video and found it informative. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the bell icon. Your valuable suggestions are very important to us, so do post them in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video.